Hi, everybody. This is Steve, Monday Chief Forecaster with Rowan County Weather. Yesterday was a big day here in North Carolina and really around the country. It was signing day for softball and baseball and a few other sports. And my guest today got to sign. It's been a lifelong dream of hers to sign and get this out of the way. And I know it was probably like Christmas come early for her, but Emma Clarke, welcome. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
So, Emma, for the folks that maybe have just kind of read about you in the newspaper or even on social media or whatever, and they know about your softball and your career with that and what you've been doing. But for those that don't know you beyond that, tell us a little bit about Emma Clarke. Like what's her days usually consist of?
So, my name is Emma Clarke. I am a senior at Western High School. I am a three-sport athlete. I play softball, volleyball, and basketball for the high school, and I've played all three of those growing up. Um, I'm committed to the University of Tennessee for softball, and yesterday I signed my papers. I signed my NLI, so I will officially be going there. Um, I love to stay busy. During the school year, I go from volleyball straight to basketball, and then once basketball is over, straight into softball. My days normally consist of going to school, practicing, game days, all that fun stuff, but I still have time to enjoy being a kid along with an athlete. I love spending time with my family and friends, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, Emma, we'll get to your big day in just a little bit, but let's kind of walk back through all this and really kind of tell your story through the interview. So, you say you're a three-sport athlete, so we'll start with what was the very first sport you got into, and what drew you to that sport in general?
So when I was really younger, I'd say about 5 or 6, I actually did dance and softball. And then my mom and dad eventually said, okay, you have to pick one or the other. So I chose softball, which I'm glad I did. And that's whenever I started playing on this travel team, coached by my mother and a couple others. And it was a local team. We were called the Punishers. And I was the youngest on the team. I was 6 years old, and we were playing 8U. So I had friends from 2 years older than me playing, and then during the off season of that, I started playing AAU basketball for Team Fly, and it was really cool. And I had lots of great coaches and stuff. And I enjoyed most about playing younger was the friendships that I've built, and the fact that I'm still friends with all of them today is definitely one of the biggest things to me today. And then I didn't start playing volleyball till I was a little bit older. Volleyball was the sport that I wanted to play because all of my other friends played, and so I eventually picked that up right before middle school.
Okay. So let's take a look at your softball career since that was your big signing yesterday, and we'll kind of walk through it. So, as you played growing up, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty positive you were part of some of the World Series teams as well with the county. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes,
So tell us about that experience.
that is definitely one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Being able to travel the world with my local team and being able to represent where I'm from throughout my sport means a lot to me. And I was a part of the first team to win what we call states as 8U, which is like the farthest you could go, which that was a really big accomplishment for us. And then I was able to go my 10U year to Clarksville, Tennessee. Played twice. That was awesome. We ended up coming runner up my first year, and then we won it the second year. And then my 12U year, we went all the way to Portland, Oregon, because that's where the World Series was held at then. And that was in 2017. And that was just awesome. Being able to make friends with people all across the country, just being able to travel that far at being such a young age was such a memorable moment for me. And just really seeing how far you can go with your teammates you have at your hometown. It was just crazy being able to represent the entire Southeast region at Oregon.
So your 12U year, I watched that one. I mean, I watched all of those, but certainly the 12U year since it's the most recent. And it was neat watching you guys play on ESPN Plus and all that. And at the time when you were doing that, did you even realize you were being on national television, or are you just more focused on getting the game played?
Well, I want to say I was more focused on getting the game played, but obviously, you're like, wow, big camera's on me. You'd look over every 5 seconds and there's just this big camera that could possibly be zoomed into your face right now. But it was a good lesson for me. I learned to control my nerves after I'd say the first 3 games. It took me a while, and then just really enjoy it and just take pride in what you're doing because there's a lot of people watching.
Absolutely. And you certainly got some big cameras getting ready to be on you starting next year. Those SEC cameras are certainly pretty big in their own way. Um, so you win the World Series that year. You come back. There's a parade. I know. Well, first of all, let's get to the night you actually come back. You guys stop in the square in Salisbury. You got a big crowd waiting for you there. What was that like for you?
That was crazy. I still remember it to this day. All of the police escorts, all the lights, just everybody lined up along the side of the road, on top of the bridges, waving to us, like congratulating us. It really showed me how awesome our community is and how supportive they are and how proud of us they were. We were at such a young age. It was just kind of, I don't know, like a realization type thing. Yeah.
And with really just a few days after that, like I said, there ended up being a parade for you all. I think you ended up going from Salisbury out to the ball field where you generally played most of your games throughout the season there. So how did that feel to get that little parade out there and to go see the crowd out at your home field?
It was awesome. Again, just all the people there to support us. It was really cool being able to go straight back to where we started that entire season and even the regular season there. And just having that little ceremony was awesome for us girls.
That's great. So tell me about your time at West Rowan. Certainly a really great school. I've seen a lot of things happen out there that have been just really good. It's kind of in its own corner of the county, right over there near Cleveland. But you guys, you've had great years with the football teams and certainly the volleyball teams and the basketball team and even the softball team. So, what are you going to miss most about your time at West Rowan?
Oh, that's a tough question because there's definitely a lot. I've grown up going in and out of West Rowan my entire life because my mom used to be a teacher there. Now she's the guidance counselor there. So I've grown up around all the coaches, teachers, and the old players there my entire life. And I think what I'm going to miss the most is the community support and like definitely my teammates and the friends I've made. But definitely, I would say most importantly, like my coaches and everybody who has helped me become the player and person I am today going through West Rowan, especially with all the different sports I play, all of those different
Right.
coaches and the teachers, they have really supported me no matter what.
Sure. So Rowan County is, got a lot of small communities in it. It's really known mainly for Salisbury. There's some other events that happen during Rowan County or around Rowan County that kind of get some attention for China Grove, like Farmers Day and Woodleaf has the Tomato Festival and all that. And Cleveland, is a neat little area tucked up in that northwest corner. Small town, just like most of the small towns are in Rowan County. What do you love most about Cleveland?
Oh, I like how small it is. I
Yeah.
like how you can go out in Cleveland and you know everybody who lives in Cleveland and they all know you and they're just all I guess we're all just like one big kind of family.
Mhm.
And one of my favorite parts about Cleveland is they host these little concerts um once every month, which is really cool because you just get to hang out, listen to some music, and hang out with your community.
And now you're getting ready to transition to Knoxville. Certainly going to be a little culture shock there. Have obviously you've been a Tennessee fan. I'm sure most of your life, if not all of your life. Have you ever been over to Knoxville for any of the games, whether it be football or basketball or softball or anything like that?
Yes, actually, once I committed, once I committed, they were like, hey, if y'all ever want to come up, since you're a recruit, you can get free tickets to anything. So, of course, the very first game me and my family wanted to go to was the Alabama versus Tennessee football game. And that was insane. It was so loud. It was
Mhm.
crazy. It was so much fun, and that really set the bar high for the next football games we went to.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. Um, so I've got, my sister-in-law actually lives over in Knoxville, so I've spent a lot of time over there, as you can imagine, with her having two young kids. My wife's always wanting to go over there and visit, right?
Yes.
So I honestly will probably get to see you in action over there, and I'm going to certainly make every attempt to come watch you play in person over there because I just think it would be neat to see this young lady who's coming from Rowan County, and she's all of a sudden in the big city of Knoxville, playing softball. So that's going to be pretty neat to see, and I can't wait to see that. Before we get into yesterday and your signing day and everything else, let's talk about your. What would you say? And we'll eliminate yesterday because that's probably going to be the answer you're going to give me if I put that one in there. But let's go back prior to yesterday. What would you say has been your proudest moment up to yesterday in life?
Athletic, like all athletics or just
It
softball?
can be personal, athletic, anything. Just what you've been the most proud of about anything you've ever done in life.
I would say the World Series is definitely up there.
Yeah.
Um, Travel and play at that level. I would actually say one of my biggest athletic accomplishments was winning the basketball state championship last year. And that's just because I feel like I was a starter.
I'm still with you.
I was
Yeah.
the starter, and I still contributed to my team, and I feel like I was able to show everyone that no matter if it's your favorite sport, if it's not your main sport, like no matter what it is, you
Mhm.
can still be the player they need you to be, and you can still accomplish your goals in that sport, and you can still work hard and be that person. And that team really showed me a lot. It was just so much fun playing that sport, and just that entire year last year it was just really just so surreal. But definitely that feeling of being a state champion, especially not in softball, was really cool to me because I was like, wow, I just won a state championship and it was not in softball. And I still contributed to the team, and I still put an effort in everything I did. And I was still one of the reasons we won.
I'm going to flip it on you now and ask you what's been your most adverse moment. And again, it doesn't have to be sports related. It can be just anything in general.
I don't know. Hmm. Growing up, let's see, I would say a couple years ago, I was starting not to get in a slump with softball, but I was starting to drift away from it a little bit. And I was starting to get burnout and worn out and tired of the failure right when I started to figure out, wait, like I can play college ball. I just have to work for it. And the more I played, the more I started questioning my abilities and stuff. And I thought I wasn't productive as my
Yeah.
other team were. And I just felt like they were growing faster than me. And I just felt kind of left behind. And then I kind of had to sit and talk to my parents and have like a come to Jesus moment about how softball is a game of failure, and how you really have to overcome that, and how you have to learn from your mistakes, rather than just falling back and saying, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. That was definitely a big learning moment for me. Um, yeah, that was a rough time,
There
but I was able to learn from it, and I was able to grow from it. And here I am now.
you go. Well, let's get to yesterday. Certainly a big, big day. And I know if I were to ask you what your most proud moment in life was, you'd probably say yesterday, and I certainly understand that. You
Yes.
definitely have earned it with everything you've done throughout your softball career to this point. So with most athletes for signing day, there's a little bit of, I don't want to say it trickery, but there's always a question of who they're going to sign with, right? With you, there's never been a question. It was Tennessee. It was going to be Tennessee,
Yep.
and that was really, nice to see that just finally unfold for you. I mean, we knew it was coming, but it was nice to see it finally just become really official with the signing of that. Um, how glad are you that you didn't have to go through trying to figure out, okay, do I want to go here? Do I want to go here? Do I want to go there? It was a lock that you wanted to go to Tennessee and you were able to get that done.
Yes, well, I did have like options, I guess you could
Mhm.
say. And that was definitely really hard for me. And then once I verbally committed, I was like, this is 100% where I wanted to go, which made it a lot easier coming to yesterday. Just signing that paper and knowing that I made the right choice without even being there yet, it just means so much to me.
Sure. And why was it, what made Tennessee the place for you? Has that just been a favorite team all your life, or did something happen that made you go, I want to go there?
Well, growing up, well, being in North Carolina, we've always
Mm.
been UNC fans and
Right.
in-state fans and all that stuff. But I just felt like I wanted to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
Um, and as I got older, I was like, okay, these are big schools. And I was like, can I go to big schools? And I was like, wait, yes, I actually can. And I was like, I'm going to work for it. And Tennessee was obviously one of those from start. And then just whenever I took my visit there, my before I committed, I stepped on the campus and Coach Weekly was showing me around everything, showing me how it's done, just all of the coaches. And I met some of the players that day. They were so welcoming. They were all convincing me that this was the best place ever. And then we went and stood on the softball field, and right then and there, I was like, "This is it." It's kind of one of those when you know
Yeah.
feelings.
Yep.
It just felt like home. It just felt like it was just awesome. Like I saw myself being there for 4 years of my life, the biggest 4 years of my life, playing softball there. The atmosphere was awesome.
Sure. Did you have any trouble Tuesday night going to bed thinking, oh man, when I wake up tomorrow, this is it. I'm doing this tomorrow officially.
Yes, it was. I was very nervous going to bed. I was more excited than
Mhm.
nervous. So excited. And I woke up that morning and I was like, okay, it's not time to wake up, go back to bed. And then I woke up again and I was like, go back to bed, and I couldn't. So, yes.
So, you go through the day yesterday, you get your signing done. Obviously, Twitter, well, X, whatever you want to call it now, blowing up. I mean, just, not only with you, with your signing, but there were other signings taking place as well around the state and around the country. And Tennessee made they made several signings yesterday, not just you, but there were several players they signed. But along with that, did you ever get a chance once you signed those papers and that whirlwind of activity started? Did you ever get a chance to just sit back and breathe and soak it all in, or is it still just kind of a blur for you?
Barely, because as soon as I signed, I had to go to school. And so
Yeah.
obviously I was just overwhelmed and I was so excited. I couldn't sit in my seat and it was just crazy. It was really cool seeing not only me being able to sign, but my future teammates. I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy I get to do it with them. And I'm just so excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had, it's funny, I reached out to your mom, I guess, a few days ago to ask about interviewing you. And then all of a sudden, here I come yesterday after all this going, hey, Emma, do you want to talk? So I'm glad you're able to squeeze me in. I certainly appreciate it. As you get ready to go to Tennessee, what are you looking to do other than play softball there? Have you picked out a major yet?
I would love to major in biology and go that
Mhm.
route, and eventually, turn it into dentistry, because my goal is to be an orthodontist.
Mhm.
So, but obviously that's requires a lot of school outside of my 4 years.
Yeah,
So, I think if I just get my little biology chemistry degree, then that'll be pretty good.
sure. I understand that completely. So after softball, obviously, you're looking to go into biology, chemistry, things like that. But have you thought about anything after softball to, that you may want to do that kind of ties into the sport, even beyond just your regular day to day?
Yeah, I've thought about, like what if I wanted to coach, you
Mhm.
know? I feel like definitely if I have like, or when I have kids, I feel like definitely I want to be a part of that. But and do like some lessons, definitely do some lessons because I just love working with kids and giving back to the community, and I just feel like that'd be a great way to do it.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely have thought about coaching and stuff, but I'm not really sure yet.
Yeah, well, you've got plenty of time to figure it out, that's for sure. One of the things I do like, you just mentioned how you like kids and giving back to the community and all that, and I certainly love to hear you say that. I always feel like I've had this philosophy of it's better to leave the world a better place than it was when you got here. And
Yep.
it seems like you're the type of person that's certainly going to do that. Um, any advice for the underclassmen that are coming along now, not only at your school, but that are just watching this in general? I can tell you, I've got a friend of mine who, when I announced that I was interviewing you today, she commented and said, "My girls are going to love watching this." They actually live in Charlotte, but they love softball and they love seeing, developments like this take place. What would be your advice, not only for those young ladies, but just any underclassmen that's making their way to this point like you are right now?
I would definitely say the biggest piece of advice I would give to them is don't take it too seriously. It's not life or death. You're gonna fail, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna have great moments, but really truly enjoy it. You're gonna have a really rough time wanting to do this in the future if you don't enjoy it now. So just have fun with it and definitely take in all you can get. Cherish all those friendships, all those friends you get, all those coaches, all of the different families that support you and are on the team with you, because those are the true friends that you're going to keep for the rest of your life, and the ones that you can look back on and have those memories with. Because I would do anything to go back and redo this all again and grow up playing with my best friends because that was awesome. But also, whenever it is time to stop playing with those friends, that is completely okay. If you feel like you need to go and join another team, that's completely okay. I feel like people don't want to stop playing with their friends because it's a comfort thing. But although I loved growing up and playing with my friends, that is one of the best decisions I've ever made because it allowed me to step out of my comfort zone and grow as a player and then also a teammate and learn to be such a great teammate to people who I did not grow up with and who I wasn't originally friends with and didn't know.
Just a couple of quick questions before we wrap up. So, first, yesterday I noticed that you had a post on social media that it looks like you and your dad, a picture of when you were younger, picture of yesterday side by side. Um, Obviously, I'm sure a proud dad moment yesterday. Not only proud mom, but proud dad moment as well. Um, any tears from your dad yesterday? Because I'm sure that was probably a moment, if there were going to be any, he gave you some there.
Yes, he told me he teared up yesterday when he
Yeah.
saw that post. Um, Me and my family met and whenever I signed the papers yesterday, and it was just a really cool family moment, just being there with them and just with their support throughout my entire career through every sport and the
Yeah.
amount of money they put in and dedication and time to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I guess, a relief for them because it really all paid off in the
Mhm.
end. And I'm just so thankful for them. And actually, my dad has never coached me growing up. It was always my mom,
Mhm.
but he still has been there no matter what. He still knows hitting. He still knows fielding. He'll still correct me if I'm wrong. But just having them and being able to celebrate this moment with them means a lot to me.
Absolutely. Would you say you're a daddy's girl, or are you more of a, like, you don't really favor one parent to the other?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah. I understand that. All right. So, last question for you. Holiday season's coming up. Obviously, Christmas came early yesterday, I'm sure, but what would be, as we get ready to go into the holiday season, what is the big Emma Clarke holiday tradition that you absolutely have to do every year?
Okay, our with our last name being Clark, we have to
Oh,
watch Vacation as an entire
yeah.
family 2 days before Christmas. That is
Love it.
what we
Yeah, love it. That is absolutely one of my favorite Christmas movies to watch every year. So now, do you don the Griswold jerseys, or you just watch the movie?
We just watched the movie. We haven't
Okay.
done.
Well, I would not have judged you if you all were wearing Griswold jerseys while watching it. So, well,
We've thought
Emma,
about. We've thought about it.
yeah, I hear you there. Emma, it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you today. Congratulations on signing yesterday. I mean, it was I don't want to call it the world's worst secret because it was certainly definitely laid in stone where you were going, but it was still nice to see it finally unfold. I'm happy for you. I know the county and the folks watching are happy for you, and we certainly can't wait to see what comes next for Emma Clarke.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.